Hi everyone and welcome to another tutorial. Today I have the last Easter project of this year, I believe. I'm going to make a Easter mini clutch box. So it looks like a little clutch bag. I'm going to show you both how to do it with a little handle and just as it is. But yeah, let's jump into the tutorial. So you're gonna need a piece of cardstock measuring 6.5 by 8.5, and then we're gonna score it at 2 inches, at 4 inches, at 6 inches, and at 8 inches on the long side. Then we're going to turn it around for 90 degrees and we're going to score it at 2 inches and at 4.5 inches. So that is kind of the base of the box. However, we're going to do a couple of notches. So at 3 inches, don't score the top one, just kind of mark it. You can actually score... you can score them because we're going to cut the pieces off at the top, but I just notch them so that you can see the little notch in the middle, and that is done at 3 inches and at 7 inches. And those are going to be like our little triangles on the sides. Then I'm going to go in and burnish them. I'm not going to score for the triangles until I have done all the cutting, because it's a little bit easier to do it when the cutting is done. So I'm going to burnish all of the edges. This is to give it kind of crisp folds on the box, and it also makes it easier to cut because you can see where those score line is in a much better place. And sorry for the cat hair, I have 2 very long haired kitties. It's cat hair everywhere. To start off with, we're gonna cut off the first kind of 3 boxes on the top. So we're going to leave the box at the very end, on the side where we don't have the tab, and that is going to be our top kind of fold over. I also notched the tab at the end while I was doing that, and I'm going to cut this one, actually going to notch that one too, and then we're just going to cut that tab off. I kind of counted there to figure out which of these one is going to be the outer one, the last one to fold in. And that is going to be the one that will be opposite our tab. So that one is going to be cut straight, while all of the other ones will have a little bit of a notch or a little miter to it. And that will help to make the box. Sometimes when you cut 2 straight lines, that can interfere of making it just square. And when I have mitered all of the others, I am going to cut off the 2 that is going to be folding against each other to make them a little bit shorter, which makes it a little bit easier to fold it together. So here I'm going to go in and do the triangular thing. I'm going to line up the little notch that I had at the top to the corner in the bottom. I have colored a little line with a marker to see, so that I see the whole lines, and that makes it so much easier to line those up. So again, I go to the mark and then I go down into the corner again, just making those diagonal lines from the mark to the corners, leaving like a big triangle, and that is going to be how we fold the clutch together. So because these folds are going to go in the different direction, I make sure to fold them so that arrow is inwards, or the top of the triangle is inwards. Now we're going to add our tape because the base is done. I'm again using Sookwang Tape. You can use tape and glue, or however you want to put it together. I wouldn't recommend using just a run-of-the-mill tape runner because that won't give you the kind of stickiness that you need. So just go in and add it. I add it on top of the 2 small ones and also on top of the inner one, which is the bigger one that is mitered. Yeah. As a final step, I will go over with my bone folder and just burnish all of them. This is a tip you can use for any kind of tape that has a backing. If you burnish on top of it or just press on top of it, the paper will release much easier because the glue will kind of stick to the paper. But as you saw there, sometimes it's hard. So the first one is a square fold. So all I do is I just fold it over. That's the easiest part to line everything up. And then we're going to remove all of the tape of the other tabs. And here it goes a little bit faster. You can use like the tip of a knife or the tip of some tweezers, or if you have like a pokey tool, if you don't want to do this. I know that when I've done it a lot, I get a little bit sore underneath my nail. So it could be a good thing if you have sensitive skin underneath your nails. And then you just fold in that one in the back, fold the sides, and then I fold in the front, because this will make it that the front will have like a closed edge, which I kind of like. And this is how the clutch will come together. Next step is to round the corners. So I'm using my little corner rounder here, it on the 1/2 inch setting, because it's better than the 1/4 inch. I think they have another one that has like 3/8 of an inch or something like that. Might be better, so I'm gonna see if I can find another one of those corner rounders and pick it up one day here. Then I'm adding 6 of these little eggs can fit into that clutch if you kind of move them around a little bit. So yeah, I continue with the eggs, but you can actually fill it with basically anything. I have these little tabs. Again, I'm going to just use 1/2 a tab, and I am going to add it so that the little I don't know, the rounded part is downward. I then, when I put it where I want it on my flap, I remove the paper at the back, and then I just push down really hard, and then you have your little flap. So that is hooks and loops that you can use, and there will be some linked in below. This brand doesn't sell it anymore, but I found some on Amazon. To decorate this, I'm going to use this beautiful paper, which actually was the reason for the design or the color choice. I really wanted to use these papers, so I cut that to 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Because this box, the flap is 2 2 inches. 2 by 2 inches. It kind of made it easy to just do it 1/8 shorter, and you just get that little line around. One of the reasons that I'm using that line, it's easier to line up when you don't have to be super precise with it. I just add some tape, and then I line the little piece up. This is paper to cardstock. Tape runner will work nicely. And yeah, that is the first part of the decoration. So then we're going to do some stamping. I have sped this up a little bit, but I'm going to use these flowers. I'm not going to use the stem, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways to fix that. The first one is to use when you stamp with your ink, just stamp as far down as you can. I saw that I didn't stamp far enough, and then I just use my nail. I know you can't see it here, but you're gonna see it later. I use my nail to kind of remove that ink that is there, you see, from the bottom, and then I just stamp it down, and you hardly notice that there is supposed to be a branch there. And yeah, that makes it possible to use these flowers both with the branch and without it. I'm going to do the same with this little flower. I actually give up on it. I'm going to show you a tip when, if you don't want to try to remove it, you can do, because I think this one, actually the little branch went in between two, and that is a little bit harder to wipe off. And this one didn't want to wipe off perfectly, so I ended like, nah, I'm just gonna pick up some ink here. However, I did get that half, so I ended up doing, and I did 3 of each, but I only color up 2 of each. So I started with some greens. This is the YG11 and the YG23, and you can find all the Copic colors, which only is 4 of them. 6 of them, because I also do blue, and they will be in the description down below and also on the blog. And as usual, all the materials that I used is linked in the description down below, where I use affiliating links if possible. The only thing with those is that if you purchase through them, I get a little bit of a kickback to no extra cost of yours, and that can help me run my run my YouTube channel, basically. Then I'm going to use my white gel pen, and this is where I go in and I kind of add a little bit of white with that gel pen where the little branch is that comes out. It's called branch? I don't think it's called branch. Stem is the word. I've been saying it wrong all the time. But yeah, where the stem of the flower comes out, you can go in with the white pen. It doesn't look perfectly when they're just on the paper, but after you have cut the flowers out, you can't really see that there was a stem there to the flower, which I kind of like, especially when I didn't want to go with leaves and stems for this specific design. I also added some little white dots into those circles to just give them a little bit more dimension. And I went in and did a little bit more of the white on this. You can also use like Tipex, like whiteout, whatever white pen you like, gesso, anything that can cover the black. Then we're going to do the sentiments. I'm going to do the same sentiment, but I'm going to match the ink with the cardstock. So the blue that I'm using is the something blue cardstock, which actually match with that pattern paper. So the pattern paper is also my favorite things, and that will match with your inks. And then I'm going to go in with Sour Apple, and don't worry, I did clean the stamp in between. And Sour Apple is the other color that matched with the other pattern paper. I really wanted to use the pattern paper, but as a big pattern, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But on these little projects, it actually makes them really, really pop. So I'm going to cut these apart. I didn't stamp perfectly straight on either of them. So here I'm going to show you 2 different ways of making that happen. One is to just line it up in your stamp machine. It is a little bit fiddly, however, it does work. Making sure that I have about the same amount of that green. I line it up inside and not on the black mark. Well, this one, because I have made it straight, I should be able to, but I try to figure out how much I'll need to take off from it. As I said, it's a little bit fiddly, but it is worth it in the end. And on the next one, I felt it took too much time, so I'm going to use these long scissors. Didn't get the bottom perfect. I'm a little bit shaky at the moment, so I got a little bit wiggly. However, the top went much better. If you have those long nosed scissors, I think that's the name. But if you have those, making longer cuts straight does much better than if you would use a small scissor like this. However, making that little flag end is so much easier with my little scissors, so I use both here. I'm adding the little flag on both sides, so these little clutches will look a little bit different. So now we're gonna decorate, and I sped this up quite a lot because decorations can take some time. So I figured out how high I wanted my sentiment to be. Then I'm gonna go in just straight in with glue and add these little pieces on. And the reason why I'm using glue is because it is a little bit movable, so I have that opportunity to kind of glide them a little bit if I didn't get them perfect. Also, it takes a little bit longer time to dry, so I can do things like this and hide flowers behind other flowers. And finally, I'm gonna add the glue on top of that sentiment, and after I do that, I kind of hold onto it. You didn't see it here, but when I feel that they don't stick down perfectly, I just put my thumbs on it. Oh, that was hard to say. And just hold it down for a little while, and then the glue will fasten as good as it can. It will not dry until you're done, but until a little while, but it will get stuck down. Now, when the clutches was down, I'm done, and the decoration was done. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a handle. Now you can use like a thicker little band. This is a very soft string that I'm gonna use, but you can use bands, ribbons, whatever you want. However, you have to think about that we don't have like a little edge at the top, so that is why I'm using this string instead of ribbon. And then I do a good solid knot. That one won't go anywhere, and then gonna add it. Now this ended up being very long, as you see here, and you can have that long if you want to. I would recommend when you're done to add a little spot of glue to stick it down with so it holds, but this like shorter version actually held really good, so I didn't use any glue. I just added it there, and when it's closed, it will kind of stay where it's supposed to be, and it will work out great. So the clutch got a little bit of a handle and ended up being like a little handbag instead. But yeah, it's a teeny tiny little project, and I really loved making it. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked these little clutches. Which one is your favorite? The one with the handle or the one without? And which color was your favorite? Sour apple or something blue? I have had a lot of fun making these Easter projects throughout Easter. I hope you enjoyed them too. And now we're going to go over to make spring projects for the rest of the time. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Down below you find all the details. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!